Hello, this is Dr. Dave Gatros for COP 3014. And what I'd like to do today is to introduce to you the idea of scope, inner and outer scopes, global and local variable scopes. And I see this problem quite a bit on students who declare variables inside of for loops and expect that it won't interfere with things, and it really does. Well, here's what we have, and if you like, I can write this over again, and I'll do that just because it helps to explain it. Notice that up here that I've got a global variable uh, named pennies. Uh, Now, global variable means that this variable will be known throughout the entire program. Even if I were to write a subroutine, it would know about it. And it's kind of a bad habit, but it's a good way to illustrate the idea of scope. Where do we know things exist? So now inside this program, I'm also going to declare pennies equals 0. Okay, and I'm going to declare pennies in there. Now notice it's inside the main routine. Now what happens whenever I try to print it out? Well, let's try it. Pennies. Okay, let's build this. Okay, looks good. And start without debugging, and you see we get a 0. Okay, well, why didn't it know about pennies up there? Well, that's because this inner scope one, this pennies right here, is the closest one, and it always takes the closest definition of the same variable name to use. Well, what if I wanted to get at the pennies that is outer scope? Well, I would actually do this. I would put a colon colon in front of it. That colon colon says reference the outer scope. In other words, go out one. In this case, it would go outside the main routine and get that one. Let's build this. Let's build solution. Okay, let's start without debugging, and we're going to see that it is 1,000. So it indeed went out and got the one on the outer scope. Now, let's say that I have a for loop. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's say for, and say int pennies is equal to 0. Pennies is less than 10. Pennies plus plus. Okay. Okay, and we will see out pennies. Oh, okay. Now then, you'll notice here that I have pennies. In that case, I'm going to take this scope resolution over there. So what should print out? Well, this one should print out the number I put in there. Let's make it unique so we'll know it's different. We'll put 5. And then it should print out 0 through 9 on this one, starting at 0 and going until it's less than 10, which is 9. Once it gets to 10, it'll stop. This pennies right here refers to the one inside of the for loop. This one references the one that's defined inside the main routine. We've not defined this one right here. Let's build this one. Okay, let's start without debugging, and it works. 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Alright, now what happens if I put the scope resolution operator right there? Which one does it reference? Does it reference the one right here? Probably not. Does it reference the one inside the main routine from the outside this loop, or does it reference the global variables? Let's find out. Going to build. Okay, and we're going to start without debugging. 1,000. Notice that it references the one outside the routine. So the scope resolution operator actually goes outside a block of code or outside a function of code. So whenever I use the scope resolution, it doesn't just back up one, it goes completely outside of it and looks for one inside the main routine. This is an example of scope. It's also an example of some of the problems I see that students run into. For instance, I see this quite a bit where they will actually declare pennies or a variable up here and then redeclare it inside a for loop and expect it's the same one. No, it's not. Anytime you declare something new, it replaces the previous definition, at least for that inner scope. Well, this is an example of scoping inside a C++ program. Hope it's helpful. It's good for you to try to play with this code a little bit and get in your mind exactly how it works. Dave Gatros, and we'll talk to you later.